Kamala Harris's campaign is deceptively editing news headlines on Google to make those headlines favorable towards her without the news outlets even realizing. The outlets affected include The Guardian, Reuters, CBS News, and PBS. Not sure why the campaign would be so obvious about this. I will say, I'm sure CBS and PBS gladly would have deceptively edited those headlines for Kamala anyway. So, don't know why the campaign didn't just go ask. But for more information, we're going to head over to the New York Post, where you can kind of see the deceptive editing that I'm talking about. So, this is an example from The Guardian. If you're listening, I'm going to kind of try my best to explain it for you, but I would really encourage you to come over to the YouTube, Rumble, or X channel to see this. It is linked below. But it says, VP Harris fights abortion bans. Harris defends reproductive freedom. And it looks like it is an article for The Guardian. And then above it, it says sponsored, paid for by Harris for presidential campaign. But they altered the headlines that make it look like it's the news outlet's headline. But it's not. It's just deceptively edited. And the New York Post says even smaller publications like North Dakota's W Day Radio also saw their headlines changed. So they're not going just for the large actors. They're going for small balls too. The ads include links to real articles from the news outlets, but the headlines and the deceptive text have been edited to cast a supportive light on Kamala Harris. So here are some other examples. You have the AP News. It says, VP Harris's economic vision, lower costs and higher wages. The article is not about this, though. It is changing the headline via the Harris for president, but it doesn't say anything about that. And then below it says, Trump will, quote, terminate ACA, Harris will lower health costs, as if that's an NPR headline. It's not. Now, anyone could totally believe that because these people, and by these people I mean the mainstream media, of course would write these kind of glowing headlines about Kamala Harris. But that is actually not what happened. That's not what happened. It was the Kamala Harris campaign going in and deceptively editing this and then not telling these news outlets. So spokespeople from the affected companies, including CNN, USA Today, and NPR, all of which have published obviously very flattering content about Kamala Harris in the past few weeks, said they had no idea the companies were tied up in this campaign. They were not told about this, okay, at all, again. This also says, a Guardian spokesperson. While we understand why an organization might wish to align itself with the Guardian's trusted brand, we need to ensure it is being used appropriately and with our permission. We'll be reaching out to Google for more information about this practice. So the Guardian's obviously a little pissed about this, but apparently this does not violate Google's policies because the fake ads are prominently labeled as sponsored, which makes it easily distinguishable from search results. It's not the problem of that it's sponsored or not. I don't mind that. My problem here is that people will think, and even I would think I would consider myself a pretty smart individual, that if the headline reads, Trump will pardon J6 rioters, VP Harris protects democracy, and it's linked to an independent.co.uk article, that is what the article headline is. Because that's how Google has trained our brains, you know? This is so dumb. So this is what Google said, its spokesperson. It said, they also include paid for by disclosures, so it's clear to users who paid for them. It's fairly common for advertisers to link out to or cite external websites, including news sites. I don't think that this is common at all. I could see people putting out ads like that's not the problem. The problem is that it looks like it belongs to a separate news outlet, and that is that news outlet's headline. Like, how is that not against Google's rules? I'm actually not even mad at the Kamala campaign for doing this when I think about it. Like, if Google is dumb enough to allow this deception, which is what it is, deception on their platform, then the campaign is obviously going to capitalize in this. Obviously, it speaks to how the Kamala campaign is a bunch of liars, but I don't fault liars for trying to use tactics to win. But what I personally hate here is that Google has suppressed countless ads from Trump, especially not during this round of the campaign, but during the 2020 campaign in particular. But Kamala can then come and manipulate news headlines without permission, and those news headlines don't even know, and that's allowed? Like, that's one of the most disgusting big tech overreaches I think I've seen in my lifetime.